Akil.
Yeah, you know, you'll have either the bowman, probably in this case, make adjustments, and it can be really hard. Sometimes the two-seat will have to grab the oar to try to get the boat aligned without getting it moving forward. So it can be a bit difficult and a bit tricky, especially with this wind. But here we go. The umpire is up.
So it's Matthew Pinsent we've got here at the helm of this Artemisia launch, which will be following this boat down and hoping for as little action as possible when it comes to these coxless quads. Both very experienced. Skøll, we'll talk about them in just a few moments' time, one of the only crews and clubs to win this Prince of Wales Challenge Cup in recent years, ahead of Leander, and they're going up against the might of Star and Arrow, who I've had the privilege of commentating on through this regatta, Akil, and we know that they've got in their back pockets one wonderful sprint finish. So we're back here in this semi-final of the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup, finding out who will go through to race Leander Club. And look at the bow balls, dead level here off the end of the island, with Star and Arrow nearest to us. The challengers from the Netherlands, Skøll, over on the Berkshire station.
Yeah, all jokes aside, I've really been impressed by this Stars and Stripe boat. They're rowing really well, and they've been able to move that boat and have a very impressive finish. And so we look across here, it looks as though the Skøll boat may have gotten out to a little bit of a lead. But once again, I don't think that the Leander boat, the Stars and Arrows, will be too concerned.
Yeah, Star and Arrow, as we've mentioned just then, they've sprinted through all of their competition to date coming into those enclosures. So watch out for that as we come down the track. And in the next few minutes, if Star and Arrow are still in contention, they could unleash that sprint once again. Interesting, as I say, we keep referring to the fact that the Star and Arrow Club, sort of part of the Leander family. The reason that the Star and Arrow name exists is back before Leander was Leander, the Star Club and the Arrow Club came together to form Leander back in 1818. And the Star and Arrow Club is actually for those athletes who aren't full-time training with the Leander squad. So these guys have all just come back together to throw this Prince of Wales Challenge Cup quad to go through the qualifiers, and here they are in the semi-finals, Akil.
Yeah, and it looks like Skøll has started to take a lead here, and you know, I think that the Star and Arrow Club are going to have to ask some serious questions about whether or not they're going to be able to sprint from that far behind. They want to maintain contact. You always want to be in a place, for me, to put some psychological pressure on your opponent.
Exactly, they'll want to continue to keep that pressure on as much as possible. But Skøll, here on the right-hand side of your screen in the red, they'll be confident, they'll be quietly confident of their speed and experience. Skøll have been in the final of the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup twice before, once in 2019 where they lost, but in 2018 they went on to win this particular event, so their name already on the trophy. But yeah, a great outfit that they brought here to Henley to race in this semi-final.
Yeah, and to just take a look here, they look very relaxed, very comfortable. They're rowing extremely well, getting out nice and long at the catch. And you know how we were talking about in the last race, how to let the boat work, how to look at the run of the boat. And it just looks like the Star and Arrow crew is just a little bit more labored around their stroke. So they're going to have to do something to change that.
Well, look, when you've had very close races throughout the regatta, we're on day 6 now of 7, and the Star and Arrow Club, like we say, they have not had it easy to get every single win. They've had to fight tooth and nail. They've had to row through that competition, and by day 6, that's going to be sort of paying its toll, right?
Yeah, you know, the lactic acid's going to build up a little bit quicker, you know, and even though they know that they have this amazing sprint that they've shown us, it's going to be harder to conjure that up with the lead that Skøll is getting right now.
Yeah, it's been much closer than this when Star and Arrow have sprinted over the last few days. And Skøll, I think it just goes to show how impressive this combination of Mats van Sabben in the stroke seat, Pershing van Haringen in the 3-seat, Nicholas Dirksvager in the 2-seat, and Sten Postma in the bow seat. And you can see them all there, these 4 athletes. And they've got some great history, pedigree, track record in terms of the athletes that have come through the club in Amsterdam, one of which Lennart van Lievrop, who was European champion in the men's single back at Bled last year, now a part of the Dutch quadruple scull, gunning for gold at the Paris 2024 Olympics. And this could be, they're all students, these guys, these could be future Olympians, maybe in LA 2028.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the great thing about this event here. You know, all of these athletes are pretty seasoned athletes, and now they're getting the opportunity to race in this race, and you know, really show that, hey, we're up and coming, and really give them a confidence boost. Having that international experience is really helpful.
And I think, Akil, talk to me a little bit about the intermediate events, right? Because I feel like we see a big variety of crews contesting in this particular category of event.
Yeah, and you know, this is, so if you think about the open event, we usually tend to see internationals or people racing on the U23 level and higher. But here in this intermediate event, you know, as I was jokingly talk about my comeback, we have a range of really good athletes that are looking to crack into that top level, that top tier of rowing. And right here you can see this Skøll club is really doing a great job of saying why they may be the next up-and-coming crew.
Yeah, and you talk about comebacks, Akil. I know you've joked. We're going to spin across in a minute and we'll see the Star and Arrow club. This is a comeback for the likes of Jack Beaumont and Will Satch in the bow pair. Jack Beaumont, Olympic silver medalist, and he told me that both he and Seb Devereux, who are in this crew together, Seb at 3, actually won this event back in 2014 together. So it's nice that they've had that comeback, this reunion. Will Satch, Henley winner, mostly on the sweep oar side, and then joined by Sam Meyer as well, who at 27 years of age has got 8 Henley Royal Regattas underneath his belt, which is the fewest in the boat.
That's true. There's a lot of talent. There's not only talent, but a lot of experience in this boat. And, you know, they've had a fine regatta, but I think that they were no match for this Skøll crew. And as we spoke about, I think having to go to that 5th gear, I like to call it, if most people have 4, you know, these guys showed that they had a 5th gear. Having to go to that for 6 days, you know, is a little much.
And the qualifiers as well. We've got to remember this crew came through Henley qualifiers just over a week ago yesterday. So they've done qualifiers. They've then gone through the rounds of the Principals and they found themselves here in the semi-final. I don't think they ever anticipated that when they made that entry into this event. But look at this. Skøll, I think, are going to give a real challenge to the Leander Club crew that we just saw in the other half of the draw, beating Queen's Belfast in the previous race, because they've managed to take this rating right down an ocean of clear water back. That is definitely not within sprinting distance here, unless anything disastrous happens here for Potsma, Dirksvager, Heringen and Sarben, who roll through the line with ease to ensure that Skøll will contend the third final in this Prince of Wales Challenge Cup, following 2018 and 2019. So there it is, there's the result. Skøll beating Star and Arrow in that Prince of Wales Challenge Cup to make the final.